But holy shit, Mrs. Doubtfire. When was the last time you guys watched Mrs. Doubtfire?
Actually, pretty recently.
Yeah, probably not that long ago.
I cried like a little bitch again at the end. It's still gets to you. Where he's like, I can't have you tell me I can't be with my children. It's like saying I can't have hair. I can't.
You talking about when he's doing the show at the very end, or what?
Oh, that too. Yeah, when he's like talking about how, like when he's saying how like just the whole he's like reading the letter to the girl about divorce and how some parents separate and everything. And yeah, that was good. But I was reading about how originally, check this out. They had fired the original writer because they didn't like the original ending because it was unhappy ending. So they started hiring other writers to like rewrite it and give it like a more happy ending. And then after they went through 3 other writers and like a bunch of other versions, they realized like they had to go back to the original writer because it's better that they don't get back together in the end. Because a lot of times it's like it would instill like a false hope in kids who see it. They think that their parents are going to get back together.
Yeah.
It's actually better that at the end of the movie they don't. What was that?
But your mom's a cheating whore.
No. Well, that's the thing. It's like I was going to say,
pre-James Bond.
Pierce Brosnan is so excellent in that movie because I was saying originally they had planned for Stuart Dunmire to be like this arrogant asshole villain type guy who's going to get like his one up at the end. But they actually rewrote it and made it way more interesting by making him like a really smart, nice, charming guy. And he's like into the kids and he's into Sally Field. He approaches her. Her Sally Field's like boss is like Stuart Dunmire's asking about working with you, and he's like, oh my god, I used to know him back in the day. And he's like, yeah, well apparently he's really like thinking about you, kind of thing. And I thought that was very interesting because Pierce Brosnan, he's like a multimillionaire San Francisco playboy, and he should be like dating all these fucking like hot models and shit. But like I guess Sally Field was the one who got away for him, and he's like tracked her down, and he wants to settle down with a woman his age who's got 3 kids already, and he doesn't care. He's like pushing 40, he says, and he just loves the little kids. That's the thing; it's just way more threatening that way. That he's like an excellent replacement for Daniel Hillard. He's like better than Robin Williams in like every possible way. I thought that was actually great. But yeah, like I said, it led to Pierce Brosnan playing James Bond because he did Remington Steele before that, which was like a TV show, which is kind of like James Bond, where he's like an English detective or something. But by the time he was in Mrs. Doubtfire, the director Chris Columbus was saying, "You'd be an excellent James Bond," and he was like, "I'm too old. I'm 40 years old. It's too old to play James Bond." And then I guess the people at MGM, they were looking for a new James Bond, and they saw him in Mrs. Doubtfire, and they asked Chris Columbus what he thought, and he's like, I could not recommend him anymore. He's like my number one choice for who should be James Bond. And honestly, my opinion, like even though he made some of the lamest James Bond movies, Pierce Brosnan was like the perfect like looking James Bond. Like when you close your eyes and you picture James Bond, like I think Pierce Brosnan was like.
I mean, Sean Connery's got to be up there.
Sean Connery was like
James Bondy. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, Sean Connery, but he's just too Scottish. He's too, you know what I mean? Yeah. James Bond should be like a fine Welsh Englishman, like fucking. But to be perfectly honest, Pierce Brosnan's actually Irish, so
What a fake.
Yeah, but I shared that video where he goes in from like 2007, where he bought a $1,000 bong from some head shop and. It was like Hawaii or California or something. He spent like 3 hours in there looking at pipes, and then he just walked out of there with a $1,000 bong.
Pierce Brosnan?
Yeah, it's pretty baller.
Let's watch it.
I don't know if I found the video. I saw the article. Let's see if I can find it. But yeah, I'll do it. Pierce Brosnan bong. Of course, they're trying to autocorrect to Bond.
Bong?
No, I literally. Oh, here we go. The name's Bong. James Bong.
You have to make that pun. You just have. You can't not do it in that situation.
Let's see here. Secret Agent 007 got a license to chill when actor Pierce Brosnan bought a glass water pipe. The 50-year-old star, this is back in 2007, so he's like 63 now. Jeez. The 50-year-old star spent more than an hour looking around a dimly lit smoke shop before choosing one at $1,000 or 630 pounds. Buying a water pipe known as a bong or hookah, this writer, is legal, but they are often associated with smoking cannabis. Brosnan chatted and joked with the burly sales assistant at Dementia Smoke Shop in Malibu, California. Oh, and he chose a pipe by a renowned designer, Marcel. So he bought a $1,000 Marcel bong, which apparently are like really fancy.
Is that like the good shit or not?
I guess. Yeah.
Is that from DH Gate?
I don't know. Let's look it up. Let's look up Marcel bongs.
I like to think that writer like is probably like a huge pothead and is like trying to play it cool. Is like
Tone it down,
also
yeah.
known as a water pipe.
Yeah, they're or a hookah. Those are the same. Oh, like these kind of fucking things. These are like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He does like crazy glass, man.
What the fuck? I would be afraid to even look at that thing.
Yeah. How do you clean this kind of shit? You know what I mean?
You don't smoke out of it. You just have it.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I'd love to see.
All right, we're gonna watch this movie.
All right. Shit.
Maybe I'll be back with my review after. Oh, I guess it's
Okay.
a short stream.
Talk more about 3 hours. It's gonna be a short one. Yeah, like the last two were like 7 or 8 hour. I did like a 9-hour one not long ago.
It's because you were starting at like 4 or something, right? 4:30.
Yeah, I kind of thought that it would end earlier and I'd have more to do in the evening, but it ended up just ending around the same time. So, you know.
Maybe Mr. Capitalism will jump back in here and give you a couple hours of content.
Yeah. Well, no, I wanted to go through Mrs. Doubtfire, and I really want to do this Suburban Commando thing. We'll probably just call it. We'll see who jumps in. But yeah, dude, rise up the shitwalker.
Yep.
All right.
Let's
Send
see if
my
they made
regards to
Did
Bob.
they make any like edits or anything that you know about?
I don't think so. Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
Maybe they
We'll
have
see.
the full penetration scene between Kylo and Rey that was deleted.
Nice.
They had one of those. Was that
It's got a Babu Frick short to start it off.
Nice. Richard Gere puts Babu Frick up his ass like a little gerbil, and Babu Frick has to go like flashlight around in there like a little like Lemmy Winks.
Yeah, like Lemmy-Winks. Yeah. He goes, hey.
Friend. What happened?
Here's your problem, mister. You got a fucking gerbil up your ass. Come on, buddy. And then, he wraps him up in like a leash and like tries to walk this gerbil out of Richard Gere's ass.
Are you drinking soup out of a can?
Soup out of a can? No, I'm drinking a White Claw out of a drink cup. Yeah, dude, that'd be hilarious if I was just drinking a thing of Campbell's soup. God damn, what am I, a hobo? Like, I mean, shit. I always liked in a Goofy movie where Goofy takes the can of tomato soup and takes the cigarette lighter and like cooks it on the cigarette lighter.
Oh yeah.
It's actually pretty tight. And then he like opens it with his tooth and like pours it out. Good
Yeah.
stuff. All right, man.
I'm out.
Well, enjoy that shitty movie. But yeah, I was saying like the other interesting shit about Mrs. Doubtfire was talking about how Sally Field is a really good actress, man. Like her reaction when she realizes like not only is this maid actually her husband, but the fact that she had fooled her so well for so long, like the reaction is it's so great. She said everything 3 times.
She trusted her children with this motherfucker.
Well, it's their father, but the idea, it's like you wouldn't recognize your own father of your children. I mean,
Dude, she had sex with him like while she was sober at one point in time.
yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
She
Well,
didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be way more obvious in real life because, like, what is even the little boy? He's like, you'd recognize your dad's frame, but I guess they put her in that weird bodysuit, so it's tough to call.
The weirdest scene was when he got drunk at the restaurant and was Mrs. Doubtfire at the same time. That was an early
That's the climax of the movie, and I didn't realize rewatching it, like, he gets hammered. He's trying to impress this guy at the restaurant Bridges, and he says, he sits down. He's 30 minutes late because he's already doing the Mrs. Doubtfire thing, and he has to go to the bathroom and change. He comes over, and first thing he does is 2 double Scotch on ice, 2 of them, and then he drinks a third one. Then he goes back, comes back again, drinks 2 more, and then he goes. So he has 5 double Scotches in an hour, half an hour. So he's wasted. And I liked how when, this is the other fucking stupid thing. Pierce Brosnan, that was Zach brought up. Pierce Brosnan's great. Stu Dunmire is a nice guy, but he's a fucking idiot because he orders jambalaya at a restaurant even though he's allergic to pepper. He's like, I'll have the jambalaya, no pepper. I'm allergic to it. It's like, you shouldn't be ordering any Cajun food then. You should be getting Swedish food. You should be getting the whitefish if you're allergic to pepper. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you're allergic to pepper, why are you even going out to eat at a restaurant? Like, that's the thing I don't understand. When people have, like, gluten allergies or, like, deadly peanut allergies or anything like that, why do you even trust other people with your food? I would never go out to eat. I'm not going to have some fucking moron kill me because he accidentally let a peanut touch my rice or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's stupid. If you have deadly food allergies, you should stay at home. If, like, eating a peppered shrimp is going to make you suffocate and choke on it. But that's the best part, though, is I was saying, like, once he chokes on the peppered shrimp, Robin Williams stands up and, like, sobers up immediately. He's like, holy shit, I killed the poor bastard. And he realizes right then and there, that's the thing, the fact that he's not a terrible guy, the fact that Stu Dunmire isn't like a shithead, he actually feels like, oh, this is bad. Like, this guy shouldn't die because of me. And he, like, does all this, like, immediately he's super sober. He's, like, running like a linebacker, like, darting through tables, and he hops over a little ledge. And he gives him the worst Heimlich maneuver I ever saw. I remember when I was a kid, they would teach us CPR, and they'd be like, don't do it like in Mrs. Doubtfire. You ever see Mrs. Doubtfire? Don't do it like that. They're trying to do it like that. You'll hurt this guy. You'll break his ribs. You're not supposed to do it like that. That's funny. But, yeah. What else was super funny about Mrs. Doubtfire? The idea of the, what was it, Uncle Frank and Aunt Jack, his gay brother and his husband are the ones that help him do this espionage against the wife, help him disguise himself. Does he ever clarify why they're doing that? Because none of that stuff is actually in the movie.
Well, he's in the film industry. He's like a producer or like
the voice actor. He's a voice actor. Originally, they're going to, in the book, he's an actual actor, but the voice actor thing is actually better. But yeah, like, I don't know if he actually tells his brothers, like, what it's for. I mean, I'm sure he does, but it's all omitted from the movie, so you could imagine that the brothers had no idea, what he was actually planning on doing. Like, I got to go be good. Because any normal brother, like, hey, I just got divorced. I got to be with my kids. I want you to disguise me as an old lady so I can be the maid at the house and still be around my kids. If I was the brother, I'd be like, yo, man, look, I can't, Daniel. Like, we're going to help you, but no, I can't do that. Come on, man. Weird. Like, that's too weird. That's too much. Like, you're going to see your kids, man. That's what I would be telling my brother if I was Daniel's brother. But I assume that he didn't tell them. I need it for... Yeah. But that's the great part at the end where he accidentally, drunkenly goes back to the producer's table dressed as Mrs. Doubtfire. Because first he comes back wearing lipstick and smelling like perfume, and he casually says that he made out with some waitress, which is pretty slick. And then he drinks 2 more scotches.
Did you like hit on her?
No, he comes back wearing lipstick because he was just Mrs. Doubtfire a minute ago, and like the producer's like, "Why are you wearing lipstick and smell like perfume?" And he's like, "Oh, a waitress rubbed off on some waitress I used to date. I ran into her. She fucking made out." And he's like, "Ooh, nice." And then he leaves again, and he keeps leaving in the first 15 minutes, and then he comes back dressed like an old lady. And that's when he slyly again says that, oh, this is like the gimmick for the show. I'm like an old lady, and I can, I'm played by a man, which is actually a good idea. Because if you wanted a show, you wanted to do like a new Mr. Rogers type show that starred a lovable old lady, it actually would be better to have like a guy play it in makeup. Because having like an old lady, like you don't want an actor that might die within 5 years, You want an actor like actually 30-something years old, and then you open up the possibility of this like old lady doing more physical stuff. It's actually a pretty great idea for a kid show. You have the old lady breakdancing and playing tennis and stuff. I don't know, but Mrs. Doubtfire, man, I was reading that it was also supposed to be a much like more darker, like serious movie, way more focused on like Sally Field and Robin Williams like hating each other. And we're like, that's rough. So, and it was supposed to be like Tom Hanks or some other people like were involved. I can't even remember, but I was definitely reading about it because I watched 9 Months the other day, last week, and that's like the double feature. They're both Chris Columbus movies. They both got Robin Williams. They're both set in San Francisco. They're both early 90s. They're both about family. So yeah, but yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire way far superior to 9 Months. Mrs. Doubtfire was wonderful. I definitely enjoyed it a lot more as an adult. Like, it's great. I remember there was something about like a flack about Robin Williams' voice acting work. Like, he's in San Francisco and he's like doing the pre-recorded, like a full-length track to the entire thing. It's like that's normally not how animation's done. But it could be the case where he's like replacing an actor or something. That could be the case, but I don't know. But yeah, he gets to show off all of his funny impressions and everything. But I realized I laughed a lot more this time around at everyone else's reactions to him. Instead of like, it's kind of like watching Ace Ventura when you're older. Like, instead of thinking, oh, this guy's so funny, the funny parts is seeing like Sally Field's like face, or the old lady who's his court liaison, his social security person, or whatever, the lady who like watches him for the custody of the kids,
the parole officer or whatever.
Yeah. When she's like, what? I mean, I realized never, like, as I was a kid, it's like it's so funny when the cake frosting's like falling in the tea. But as an adult, you're like, that's disgusting. Like, if an old lady was like serving me tea and her face mask was like falling in there, and she's like, oh, it's just cake frosting. She could literally just say that. I'd be like, yeah, this was on your face, lady. Like, come on. I don't know. That's just so funny. And it's like, yeah, the funny shit isn't what Robin Williams doing. It's what everyone reacting to her. And honestly, in the end, when the court sentencing happens, as a kid, you were like, this fucking mean old judge. And then as an adult, you're like, this is exactly what I would do as a judge. I'd be like, look, guy, I know you're sad, but let's get real. Let's get real here. You have a job, you have an apartment, but your life is fucking unorthodox as hell. You spend your whole nights, you spend all your days dressed as an old woman, imposturing, so you could, come on, dude. Like, I'm going to have to throw the hammer at you as a judge. As a fellow, even if I was a father, I'd be like, look, man, probably especially if I was a father, I'd be like, look, I get that you're sad, but no, like what you did was so creepy and wrong and weird.
Oh, dude, yeah. Lock him up, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I would say. I'd be like, you're lucky you're not going to prison, honestly, because what you did was so borderline and weird that if someone had actually gotten hurt or something, like, fuck you.
I mean, it's not the cross-dressing thing is not what's bad. What's bad is the fact that the children were involved with it.
If you were dressed like an old man or something, and just the idea that you're infiltrating this family, you're against your wife's wishes, she's trying to get divorced from you. And like I said, it's like, I'm not going to make you go to jail. Like, we're going to talk about a year of therapy and some probation, and maybe you'll get your kids again. But dude, for real, don't fucking do shit like that. Dress like an old lady. Come on. Like I said, as a kid, I remember hating that judge. Like, this guy's an old dick. And as a grown man, I'm like, this judge is like sounding so sane and rational. And that's why Mr. Robin Williams, he kind of doesn't say anything because he's kind of like, yeah, you're kind of right, So what do you want from me?
Yeah, dude.
But I was reading that in reality, Mrs. Doubtfire's makeup was actually like 7 pieces of prosthetics that would go on individually, and they took like 3 hours to apply. With, and the makeup and everything. But the actual mask is just like a prop. It's all make-believe. The idea that you can just put on a mask and it's like, bam, I'm an old lady.
They were probably trying to go for some kind of awards or something for that one. Like crazy.
Some good makeup awards. I mean, I'm sure it got nominated. It just depends on if there was any crazy sci-fi movies that year. Let's see. Mrs. Doubtfire.
Right.
Because that's the thing. It's like sometimes there's a year where it's like there's not a lot of crazy, you just got like old people makeup getting done on movies. Makeup awards. Let's see here. This is Doubtfire awards. It did win the Oscar for best makeup.
It had to have, dude. There's no way they could do that many changes.
Yeah, and Robin Williams did win the best Golden Globe actor. That's good. Yeah, I read that when they first were testing out the makeup, that Robin Williams would go out in public dressed like an old lady and buy things and see if anyone would recognize him. And he said no one did. He said his kids did recognize him though. Like once his kid heard him talk, his dad, his son knew right away. Because I guess it's probably like a voice he'd do before, the old English lady voice.
I'm just an old grandma.
Oh, you've denied Doubtfire, my dear. Yes, I am an old lady.